Well, from our post over here on the electron particle slit experiment of the gold sheet, I guess, for the optics on the Gaussian curvature Smith charts, putting it in the antenna here. I'm going to try to renormalize it, or at least put it into some time and frequency dominion that's a little bit more practical, because generally dealing with any kind of top end psychologist cop or something, gotta make it some kind of firebow or flint knapping technique that says, well, I hat and J hat, and looking at you explain the process and lay out the points, either you're missing some big stuff between the head and the body, or how that process needs to be described mathematically is probably a little out. The druids, some hellhole ritual where this cowboy turns into the demon, right? He just flips out.
Today, we gather to explore a topic that has captured the human imagination for centuries, the enigmatic figure known as Lucifer. Who is Lucifer, and what can we learn about him
One of those
from the Bible?
things we can pull out for. I've been running ripping hard a Nook and Malador Warhammer boards. Old times, new times, you can't tell if the mathematics on the Laplacian there is going to do the pin on the sequence, the Demon Core, Kyle Hill. Right. The truth matters, I didn't do nothing to get in here or do anything. I'll sit in the cage and on order, drop that thing, but only when I'm ready. I'm ready, guys. You tell them to drop the order, whatever. But, you'll have to just deal me with an A pod, because that's the directional routing on how you're supposed to do that, instead of just, I get, there's the herd that hit the blue pill, you just gotta rip it.
But you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of
but
the
yeah,
pit.
Dante's Inferno down here, there's Jesus still. He didn't quite fucking work out all the books with that. That Duke over here and this cowboy down here in the ninth ring. It's really important to be able to pull your timeline speed down. For me, this is going to be like, I could set this up for anything, because research elements in terms of what I break down my books, or I say I'm going to recreate from energy A, which could be in form B, right? Where the dragon anthropomorphism, zoopomorphism in this case, to why I would want the momentum driver or a field to have a positive or a negative field charge on what, it's only relative to what latitudinal game is coming into Warcliffe over here, on what I'm about to dot plot and how I define that, because it's not just that in mine. I got to pull out some Neil deGrasse Tyson stuff here about what science is a process. You should be able to find this answer. It's not something you take a bite of the donut and sip of the coffee, and you might have to have a talk about what's going down for the season on Clam Beach over there, working out the blood and in the skulls for corn. Right, and more. You got to trickle charge this thing a little bit there, bud. You get a lot of those spikes that rip off in terms of Dracula, tranny Dracula over here about freaking out. Might get yourself in trouble. Whoa, bud. What you doing? You broke it on me. And Zeus comes in and just bang, flick too hard, bud. But hopefully that's what you get. Nothing but the bone. I gotta make sure Sanguinius here is gonna pull that to me being Ben Eater's freaking adder. That's, how I would get big like that in terms of what comes in with Doom from Latvia. That's real hard on Reed Richard, because, the core system on the team doesn't necessarily Kang the Conqueror of who your people are in terms of where that is on that map, and all of these types of calcs going, well, I've already ran this door, this is where I found that. True, I've certainly seen the gap. I've come back to some of these stone mills after they changed the program and made it easier, and that certainly adds into the the program of those things. You know, when you're asked, oh, well, there's the water treatment building or something, and you're trying to explain that to somebody about missing mayor meetings and a lot of money on that right there, and I just wanted the video so I can click it here and understand how to work Budapest's today. If I clicked inside here over to CNBC, that was today, within November 27th, that I'm keeping up on what timeline speed that toss me in there, man. I'll fucking free for all with all those cannibals. And this was supposed to be with the an oil market on CNBC, but I got cut off or something. That's when the state trooper called me today, asking me about putting it in the window. And yeah, maybe it's cold. The lawsuit I might have had on that is how many glass panes for the town cops and the mayor's building inside of here. Start adding it up. Maybe that's what's fair instead of what bullshit it is about how I'm going to square it off on the chicken scales, or, who's negotiating Mount Sinai over here about how it actually would play out. What would be some way to say there's our example, you get this dragon? No. That's the kind of thing. I just want to blind audit on this bad puppy right here and let him know. I'm looking for a character flaw inside here. Yeah, no problem. This is a computer. Our books pay for it. Here's our fucking electric bill. I'm going to mass you out to the new core of the earth on what that is. And is it liquid or solid down there? Now, according to my numbers, tungsten and iron and gold, given amalgamation of the gravity and the numbers that would turn into, well, liquid, it may resonate in a frequency that doesn't quite have, what those characteristics are. A little omega inside here, you're left-handed, you're right-handed, you split the books with bones, and you go, well, that's the skull, and when certain MRIs are going down, I'll tell you all about myself from what this is. And you're going to get a lot of it. Great storyline, gives you the Alice and Bob bones that you're going to need to work the nuclear family stuff out to Bob Lazar and the first nuclear reactor in America going off, because they're just a couple of clicks away and we can shake hands in danger right now about everything. I'm happy to. That shouldn't be something you're afraid of. And bust out the book of a nook too. I love the Masons. Here's his horse, here's his nuts dragging on the field, and in China territory, Xi, XI, might be the symbol of this form. Now, technically, it's all bullshit, because when you get to quantum computing, there's no A. What is 1? How does it do any of this without somebody force programming that Drax equation out first? So, Grayling lunch line. You're going to take them back to some segments and open it up inside of there, give them credit for cutting off on the routing, high and low, and that's going to get you what this biblical angel looks like while dealing with these too powerful for MCU universes. A great proton. When did I use it once? Sure, it works theoretically in these ways, but there's some problems with it. If you don't actually try to keep in mind that 40K, I can't say he did, because, well, there's some other story narratives and even the way they pretty that out, seeing that I've taken that line. And maybe I work it out for you. And it certainly is an emotional contagion thing about working it all down. Nothing left but the black holes from the ashes we collapsed with this math, and then the liquid hot molten stars lighting the way, bud. Kind of state troopers, not Tallywhacker, Board Factory, Venezuela's prime minister or president. Why wouldn't call the hand? That's got to be that number, right? So I got a lunch line. I haven't been there. I haven't been to the school. I went to school in Hancock, and there's my substitute teacher's model, and there's the calculus and the trigonometry for it, and what that'll do. So, I don't know.
Refer to the fall of a celestial being who rebelled against God. Lucifer